Alright, hello everyone. Today I've got another concept for you guys because kind of a little bit more thought has went into what we covered in the previous video, where the RE45 is really seeming to be getting a rework soon. I done a news video about some leaks about the RE45. I done another news video about the developers saying that there's an RE45 rework coming soon, so even the developers have said it. And then even recent leaks as well suggesting that it's going to be similar to the Nemesis, in that the more you hold down the button, the faster that the RE45 shoots, and it's going to be an energy ammo weapon. Now, if you guys don't know, we actually had a leak all the way back in, I believe it was like season 12, I think, where there was a weapon called the Fanatic leaked. And it was like a dual-wield pistol. It was energy weapon. It was like a full auto type of thing. And then you could also charge it, and then it would release like a very high, damage burst. Kind of like a charge rifle, but for close range. And I loved this weapon. I thought it was really, really cool. Now, I've got parts of this weapon in the game, especially like the kind of like the dual wield part, and also it kind of shot very similar to the P20. And obviously now we have the dual wield P20. The only difference is the dual wield P20 is full auto and not where you have to tap each time to fire, like it was in the video of the leak ages ago. Of course, the weapon was energy in the video, and it had an RE45 model as well. So whether this was the same kind of thought process that like eventually the RE45 would become the Fanatic, or whether the RE45 was just purely a placeholder back then, I don't know. But they were originally going to release the Fanatic, and then they just didn't. So I think they've just kind of held off for this RE45 rework. But it's very clear to see that some point in the future, the RE45 will be transitioned to be a energy weapon. Now, of course, with that, the energy class is pretty bad. You don't really get much ammo with energy weapons, so obviously that's the kind of drawback. And obviously, all energy weapons have a charge up in some form. I think the only weapon that doesn't is the Vault. I think that's the only one, but every single energy weapon pretty much has some sort of charging feature. So for what it is leaked to be is that you would simply just kind of just hold the trigger and it would shoot faster or something, similar to the Nemesis. Now what I hope it is, I hope it's more in line with what we've seen with the leaks all the way back in season 12, where you basically have like this pistol. I would say very similar to the P20, potentially a burst pistol, because I believe that was leaked all the way back then. Like the actual Fanatic would be a burst pistol. We haven't seen a burst pistol, so that would be really cool. But then again, obviously, you don't want to have too many new things of one new weapon. So, maybe not a burst pistol, but let's just say for this weapon, that it is a burst pistol by default. Let's say like a 2-round burst pistol or something, or like 3-round burst pistol. You shoot the bullets, and then if you want to, you can then hold the trigger, instead of like tapping the trigger, because obviously with burst weapons, that's the main thing with burst weapons, except from automatic weapons, is that you have to tap the trigger with burst weapons, like the Prowler and the Hemlock. You don't hold the trigger with them weapons. So maybe that's the kind of thing that they're going to go off, is that it is just like the Prowler and the Hemlock, with that the fact that you have to tap the trigger, not hold it like the Nemesis as a burst weapon. But if you do hold the trigger, then you generate that massive big kind of, whether it's going to be a burst, so like a bigger burst, where like let's say you hold the RT button and it like generates more ammo that you can use in that burst. That would be pretty cool, because then you could have some like sort of HUD display on like on the HUD that shows you how many bullets are going to be used in that charge. So you could essentially shoot out all of your entire magazine of that RE45 in just one very quick burst, very quickly, kind of using it almost like a shotgun, in fact, doing that much damage. Or you can do like only like 10 shots or something, and then you still have like half your clip left to potentially kill the person in case all them shots don't hit. So there could be a lot of really interesting things to do with that, and of course it could be kind of combining like a shotgun element, kind of just like spraying, like absolutely spraying, probably with a lot of recoil, that charge effect, with an actual pistol. obviously a burst pistol as well. So it's very interesting. I would like to see how they actually tackle the fanatic, but that's how I would personally do it. A burst pistol, energy class, and you could charge it. That basically makes it you can shoot all your bullets at one time if you want to. Now, of course, what this obviously means is now we are changing the whole pistol economy. There's only 3 pistols in the game, technically 4, if you include the Mozambique, but it's a shotgun pistol, so we're going to call it a shotgun. But it changes the whole economy because obviously now we have an energy pistol, a light pistol, that P20, and then the Wingman, which is a sniper pistol. Now, if you ask me, I would personally like to keep the P20 light weapon. It does feel like a bit of a light weapon, you know. I did make a previous concept that the P20 would move to the heavy class, and I could also potentially see that that happen as well. If they don't decide to do this with the 𝗬𝗁45, but what I think would be probably better is to keep the P20 as light, have the 𝗬𝗁45 as energy, and then make the Wingman back to heavy. Because I feel like a lot of people have kind of like left the Wingman a little bit, and the Wingman's not really the same as it used to be. It's just kind of like a bit shit. It's not really, it doesn't have that same light as it used to. That's all because it's been switched to the sniper class. And ever since they've done that, I've always kind of like wondered why, like, I know why they've done that, because they don't want you to have as much ammo with it, as like one of the potential nerfs of it. But that's not what made the Wingman good. The thing that made the Wingman good was the damage output. That's why people used it. Now, if obviously you want to use a weapon that doesn't really require that much ammo, you would use something like the Bocek. That literally gives you 0 ammo in your inventory. So I feel like ammunition is kind of just became not really much of a problem anymore in the game. So if you want to use a Wingman, if you want to use an LMG, whatever you want to use, like, ammunition really isn't a problem in the game anymore. You're gonna find some, no matter what. Like, I feel like people kind of get the whole ammunition thing now, so I feel like this just reverted to where it was. Yes, it's a good weapon. It doesn't really use that much ammo, but I do feel like it needs to be reverted. Especially the fact that it does actually require a little bit of skill, you know, the Wingman, to actually hit them longer range shots, whereas things like the 30-30, which probably use the exact same amount of ammo as the Wingman, actually takes not as much skill for that longer range shot because you have sights. So yeah, in my opinion, I would actually revert the Wingman back to heavy. So therefore we have a light, energy, and heavy pistol. And then potentially in the future, maybe a future season, we could see a actual heavy revolver that I would say would actually benefit from being the sniper class if they were to add a weapon that was like this. Now, a weapon like this would obviously do a lot of damage. It would do like 80 plus damage, like a sniper would, you know, because it's in the sniper class. So it would do like, I would say anywhere from like 65 up to like 85 damage per shot. And it would have to have a low magazine capacity. I think that's a big thing with this weapon that we would need. I would say maximum 3 bullets, probably 2 per mag. And I mean, if we're going to deal with magazine sizes, I would say probably 2 by default. Obviously, level 1 mag 3, level 2 mag 4, level 3 mag 5. That might be pushing it too much though. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 1 bullet if you don't have a mag, 2 if you have a level 1, 3 if you have a level 2, 4 if you have a level 3 mag. That might be a bit more balanced because, of course, let's not forget, it is 80 damage a shot, and it's a pistol as well. You're not going to be using this primarily just to kill people. You're going to be using this as like a damage to do before you use your main weapon. That's what will make this so good. So, of course, I've used the heavy revolver from Fortnite here as an example, but I've also got the Modern Warfare 3 sniper pistol here. So you could potentially put sniper sights on this pistol, and it can do really good at range. I don't know. I don't know whether that'll be a good idea. Obviously, I want to hear what you guys think about that, because I think, is it going to be really a pistol? If you can put sniper sights on it, then it's just technically a sniper at that point. Where does the line get drawn between it becoming a pistol and then a sniper? So probably not this exactly, because then it's technically just a sniper. But it would be interesting to have a really, really high damaging pistol that obviously does have that limitation of the sniper class, but it makes sense because it's a high damage doing pistol, not the wingman. Wingman is high damage doing, but it's not 80 damage high, you know? So I would like to hear what you guys think about this. Obviously the whole pistol meta is getting changed as we speak. Likelihood is it might be next season when I'm testing out the new changes that we might see a 𝗲𝗏 rework, we might see other weapons be reworked in the pistol class. It's all up in the air right now. So yeah, please do leave your comments and everything down below about what you would like to see with the pistol class, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.